If you want to relieve a tension headache quickly, you should watch this video. And in this video, you will learn how your habitual posture pattern influences and contributes to the tension in the upper cervical area and how you can reduce it by retraining your movement pattern. And if you haven't watched my previous video, and please be sure to watch it at the link below. If you want to learn how to retrain your body and then movement safely and then effectively and then move better, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video every week. I am Taro Iwamoto. I am a Feldenkrais practitioner. With my backgrounds in athletic training, physical therapy, martial arts, and the Feldenkrais method, I have helped many people like you overcome and then move beyond the pain and the limitations. Now it's your turn, and let's dive in. If you want to reduce the tension at the upper cervical area, and you need to understand your habitual posture pattern first and how that posture contributes to increase the tension in that area. So really the areas that you want to pay attention first is your pelvis, right? Because this is the foundation for sitting. If you are sitting and if you don't have a good foundation for your spine, and it's going to make everything really difficult if you want to improve your posture. So first, you want to understand the relationship between your pelvis and your head. If you sit back and then your spine is going to round itself, and then what happens to the head? Head goes forward, right? Well, naturally, the head goes down. But if you're doing an activities, like if you're driving, then you would orient your head to look forward, right? So this is what happens. And notice what happened to the upper cervical area, right? With the head compensates because of the where you want to look. If you're driving, if you're using a computer, you orient your eyes and to look straight ahead, right? So the head compensates for that. And this is what happens. You see that shortening here, okay? So here first, your pelvis rolls back, and then the head goes down, but the head compensates to look up and look forward. And this is what happens. You can see how the upper cervical shortens, right? And over time, you can imagine you're doing this one many hours during the day, depending on what type of job you have and what you do, your daily activities. But you can imagine how that micro stress adds up by the end of the day, right? So this is the foundation. So you have to understand where you're sitting on your sit bones, the position of the pelvis. So when you find your sit bones, and so that itself will have a huge, huge effect on the posture, right? So when you find the neutral sit bones here, or the neutral pelvis, and you sit on your sit bones here, so that will bring the spine in a more neutral alignment. So that's the first part. And this is the most important part, I would say, but that's not all, right? And still, and some people find that because of their posture patterns, they maybe have a very good foundation of the sitting, but then still find that the shoulder is still rounded. And then here, and then the head compensates. So you still have that shortened upper cervical area, right? And in this case, you need to retrain the movement patterns, so that posture patterns. So you're going to teach yourself and teach your body how to actually create more length in that spine around that area, middle and upper spine. So this is for most people who are used to, right? So the posture used to sitting with the shoulders forward. And over time, and then that spine and mobility of the chest has probably been a little bit compromised and changed. So for them, and maybe for you too, to find that motion and then a little more extension of the lengthening of the spine through this area, upper, middle, thoracic spine, you may find that it doesn't really move quite easily, right? And then what happens when you try to overcorrect that posture? And then the head compensates, then you end up throwing the head back, right? And that's not really healthy. And then you may feel, oh, that doesn't feel good. So this is where you want to retrain the movements, right? So this is what I like to do. So sitting, and then sitting with the neutral pelvis here, right? You sit on your sit bones and take your hands and put your hands right on top of your head and then fingers on the back like so. If you're able to have your elbows more forward, hold it there, okay? And you're going to lift your chest, so finding a little bit more length through here. And then keeping your hands like so. And then as you are lifting your chest, even just a tiny bit. Maybe for you, you don't have maybe as much mobility as I do. So maybe a little bit smaller movement for you. But what the hands do is it prevents the head from going forward. So you are going to minimizing the overcompensation from the head, right? And so you focus on lifting your chest. Okay, so this is the motion you're trying to do. Lift your chest up a little bit. Lift your chest, okay? And then keep your hands right here without pulling your head forward. Then as you do that, it starts to feel the back of the neck and it starts to get longer, right? As the entire length of the spine and becomes longer. So I'm going to exaggerate so you can see it. Lifting the chest. And then I let go a little bit, going back to the habitual posture and moving out of the habitual posture. And then I feel the length in the back of the neck. So this is the lengthening, okay, of the back of the neck. You are lengthening upper cervical area. And this is a very, very unusual movement patterns for you, especially for you who have been posturally and habitually into this posture for probably quite a long time. So finding this new movement patterns, length through here, and then the head, and doesn't overcompensate, so they differentiate the head from the thoracic spine. That here. So you might feel a little stretch here, but it's not a stretch, so you're not trying to do too hard. Just finding this movement and then starting to recognize the new movement patterns. Thoracic spines and it's getting extended and lengthened. At the same time, the back of the neck also begins to lengthen. That. Okay? And as always, you probably want to know specific repetitions and how many times a day. Many people always ask, okay, so how many times should I do? How many times a day should I do? So I just say, well, why don't you just practice 10 to 15 times, 2 to 3 sets, twice a day. Just as a general guideline. But I'll remind you, if you're new to my video, and I'll remind you, quantity is not that important. Quality is more important. It is about relearning movement patterns and improving your movement quality. So quality over quantity. Please pay attention to quality. Quantity with quality counts. Quantity without quality does not count. So keep that in mind. It's good to have a guideline, general guidelines, so the numbers, so 3 sets, 10 to 15 repetitions with quality, please. So as you go through that, let me know how you feel, and did you feel any relief, and does that help? And more importantly, you practice this one, and then you go back to your daily activities. Start using a phone, start using a computer, start driving, and not paying attention to these patterns of the movement, your habitual patterns of the movements. And you go back to the same old habitual patterns, and then that is contributing to the stress, to the upper cervical area. Then you end up having the same pain and headache again. So what you should be doing is really paying attention and practice this one, and then take this practice, apply it to your everyday activities, and that's how you make a difference. If you want to improve your back pain, be sure to grab your free movement guide to pain-free back at the link below. Check out these videos, and if you like this video, and hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe and share with your friends. Comment below how helpful you found this video was. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Happy mindful movement. Bye bye.